right. It's been too long. It's been too long. I'll do better. We will do better. Welcome to another edition of Yowaba, Young, Wealthy, and Black Academy. And today, we'll just get right to it. You know, I'm going to come from the Christian tradition because this is the one that I have most depth in as far as my faith. Yowaba is not a Christian channel per se. I mean, this is all about helping Black folks. So we're not looking to delineate by faiths. This faith is better than that faith. That's not what this channel is about. So don't feel any negativity. Receive it in the spirit that is given, which is in the spirit of love. I come from the Christian tradition, and I want to talk about how do we get to high value families. Shout out to Pharaoh, man, another YouTuber, and he did a piece on this as well. Shout out. You know, we've gone through this era, and I'm just gonna go in and say I'm gonna get on it and get off it really quick. Going through an era of YouTubers, and I'm praying that this era is done, that is gone away with, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. God's most immense blessings to his family. This is not going to be to disparage his remaining family or anything like that, because we care about them. We're looking towards high value families. This is to tell it like it is. And Kevin Samuels was an architect of pain. I know, so you're going to say, oh, but Carlos, he told the truth. Black women can't accept the truth. Black women can't face facts. They won't take responsibility. You're wrong. This is foolish talk. This is foolish talk. Why in the world would you get yourself into a stance, Black man, where you think the Black woman is your enemy? You think the Black woman is somehow less than if she has children by a previous relationship, if she doesn't have a certain level of income, if she doesn't wear a dress size less than a 10, then she's low value. Shame on you. And shame on what Kevin Samuels used to do. And shame on any of you YouTubers that are still carrying on this mess. What? I mean, how many Black women could I name? I mean, we could go to Annie Lou Hamer, we could say Harriet Tubman, we could say there's some woman right in your family that has poured so much into you to cause you to be the man that you are. We don't have to go that far, and we really don't have to do these exercises, these foolish, fruitless exercises of trying to prove the worth and value of the Black woman. Similarly, I'm not interested in proving the value and worth of the Black man. This is foolishness. This is vain and unlearned questions. All it's going to do is cause us to have arguments, and this is exactly what it did. Now, if we want to artificially raise the amount of likes, raise the amount of subscribers on a YouTube channel, of course, all we have to do is just spew hatred against some party. I mean, spew hatred against the Black woman, against the Black man, against LGBTQ community, just spew hatred against any faction, and you're going to get a lot of subs. Why? Because we are not, our fight is not against flesh and blood. Our fight is against rulers, against those in authority, against powers of this dark world in this sphere on earth, and against powers of darkness in the heavenly realm. Oh boy, let me unpack that. For those of you who are not in the Christian tradition or even in the Islamic tradition, because I know my Islamic brothers and sisters, you read your Bible sometimes, unfortunately for us, sometimes even more than Christians do. So you probably understand this passage. The passage is taken from the Bible and is taken from a passage in Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. Ephesians was written by a black man named Paul. In fact, this man wrote more than half of what we call the New Testament. What I want to focus on, though, is the fact that from this verse, and this is, again, whether you're a believer or not, just follow the logic here. What we're saying is the struggle, the wrestling, it's not against that person that's in front of you. It's not with that coworker that you can't stand or that can't stand you. It's not against that teenager that's getting on your last nerve. It's not against the black woman. It's not against the black man. This is not the fight. The fight was never about flesh and blood. The fight is a spiritual one first. So that's what we have to figure out, how to get better, how to purify our spirit person. How do you do that? So that's where we started off the Yawaba channel. If you remember, we did a lot of encouraging things. We have videos where we just have nature scenes and sounds, and we have videos where we're encouraging and we have self-affirmations. This is to awaken, to purify, to quicken, to make better your spirit. That's where it starts. We say all the time, mind, body, and spirit, but really we should and we must begin to talk about spirit, mind, body in that order. Because everything emanates from your suchness, from your inso, to use an Asian term, the thing that makes your soul, the thing that makes you you. Everything emanates from that. And so when we purify that, then we can get to purifying and making better and edifying the mind. And then we can get to the body. But we can't get to any of that if we're too busy fighting each other. What is the goal here with Young, Wealthy, and Black? The goal is to edify Black families. The goal is not to edify Black men more than Black women more than Black men. We have got to get out of it. That is a trick bag, y'all. It's just a trick. Who made the trick? Rulers, authorities, white supremacy, racism. As long as these ruling authorities can continue to cause us to be infighting, then they get to laugh and drink and live off of the plunder of our folly. What are some ways to edify our spirit? Some practical ways. Shout out to my sister. Shout out Yolanda. Yolanda's actually in the motherland right now. And what she's doing is, it's her story to tell, so I don't want to really go into it too much in depth. But there is something that happens to you when you go to the motherland and you experience the waters. There's something that is transformative about the waters where our ancestors walked and waded. So that's one way. Find some water. Find a river, a lake, a stream, something where there's running water and find the peace in that. We're talking about ways to purify your soul, to make your soul better, to make your spirit person stronger. Music is another way. You can edify yourself through music. Shout out to the brother, shout out to Kendrick Lamar. He's got a great album out right now. I highly recommend it. Lord, hey, this brother, he covers generational curses. He covers rape within the families. He covers his own demons, his own shortcomings, and blaming his girlfriend, I guess it is, for some of his own shortcomings, and he just, it just deals with it. So where's the edification in this? Well, the edification is in, he's fessing up to it, and he's putting it in music. He's using his creativity to tell the story, to tell his own story, so that it will touch someone else. And that's kind of the way it works, y'all. The name of the book is Mr. Morale. Mr. Morale? Mr. Morale, I guess. Morale. Anyway, and it just dropped. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, it's called. Music. And of course, it's beyond this. Lord, you definitely can go and check out Stevie, Prince. You all know the music is a way to edify your soul. A third way to edify your soul is by tapping into your creative gifts. I have a gift of teaching, so I'm teaching. You have a myriad of gifts, family. I know you do, whether it's painting, whether it's drawing, whether it's music, like I said before. Oh my goodness, it may be teaching, it may be writing, it may be cooking. Any of your gifts, get to that place, get to that sacred place such that your soul can be edified. What are ways to edify our minds? We're going to go right down the line: soul, mind, body. And the ultimate aim, of course, by way of summary, is to bring about high-value families. We can't get to high-value families until we get to high-value people. And how do we get to high-value people? Well, we realize that there ain't no struggle against the person next door, the person next to you, the person, the child that's next to you. This is an inner struggle. This is a spiritual struggle first. So how do we edify that spirit person? Well, we gave some practical tools, right? Get close to a body of water. Utilize some music and utilize your own personal gifts. Those were three things that we said. Now we come to the mind. How do we edify the mind? You gotta utilize good, wholesome food for the mind. The sister Dolan Perkins Valdez has a wonderful book out right now called Take My Hand, and you see it right there, and you see it right there. It's called Take My Hand. So you can read. This is historical fiction, and she's taken on some really big issues within the Black culture and within the United States culture. So we can read, we can write, we can allow ourselves to be taught by righteous teachers are ways that we can edify our mind. So I gave you three there too, right? I said read, write, be taught. And then comes the body. I'm gonna leave that one to y'all. Clearly, I used to be good at it. I'm not good at it anymore. So anybody that wants to help me and help me get better with my body, that's overweight right now, put it in the comments, or hey, teach me, help me. But that is something that's required. That is something that's needed, because the spirit and the mind sits inside of these bodies. So we have to edify our body as well. I just think that we have to we have to prioritize the list to soul, mind, and body. And that's the reason for this. That's the reason for this particular video today. And why are we edifying soul, mind, and body? What are we after? We're after an increased value, a return to high value families. This is not anything new for us. This is a return. We have always esteemed family in the Black community. I believe that we've lost our way, and I believe that we've been helped, we've been socialized to lose our way by thinking that we have some fight against flesh and blood. We have a fight against each other when we don't. I want to thank you for listening. Please keep us on. We're going to have so many more great talks, and I promise you I'm going to get to having where we have these talks in a more frequent nature so that you can be edified thereby. All right, to freedom.